Hello, my friends. Today, let's start with the fact that more and more drones are being found in Poland. So far, debris from 12 drones has reportedly been discovered. In Poland, the wreckage from 12 Russian drones has already been found. The Polish prosecutor's office stated that no explosives were detected on any of the crashed drones. If there were no explosives, it means Russia most likely decided to test the reaction or perhaps intimidate the Poles. And these drones are being found in very different cities. Just a few minutes ago, another drone was discovered, this time near Lublin, in the village of Buchevska Trzecia. The homeowner explained that the object was noticed after returning from work, since no one had been at home since early morning. It's also reported that one of the drones crashed into a Polish military base. A Russian drone hit a Polish military base south of Warsaw during the night. The wreckage was found today at a Territorial Defense Forces facility in the town of Nowe Miasto nad Pilzą in Mazovian Voivodeship Groichets country. Poles keep finding Iran drones on their territory. So far, 15 Russian drones have been discovered across 11 settlements. Photos show Russian unmanned aerial vehicles found in Poland. It seems the Polish Air Force scrambled only after all the drones had already hit something. And as proof that this attack was pre planned, an analysis of the recovered drones revealed that they were equipped with enlarged fuel tanks. The Russians fitted the drones used in the strike on Poland with additional fuel tanks, which extended their flight range. This leaves no doubt that Russia is testing how Poland will react. At the same time, reports say that even Chinese designed drones have been found in Poland. At least 4 locations in Poland have been confirmed where Russian drones or their fragments have fallen. In Chesniki, a town in the eastern Lublin region near the Ukrainian border, drone components were discovered in a field. In Verkivolo, also in the same region, wreckage from a drone damaged the roof of a residential home. Further north, in Shosnovka, fragments of another drone were found, and in Mniskov, more than 300 kilometers from the border, a drone resembling the Chinese-designed Gerbera was recovered, as seen on the video. Meanwhile, Russia's Minister of Defense denies any involvement in the strikes, despite the fact that some drones entered Polish territory not only through Ukraine but also through Belarus. In response to accusations against the Russian Federation regarding the deliberate violation of Polish airspace by Russian unmanned aerial vehicles during last night's precision combined strike on Ukrainian military infrastructure, we draw attention to the statement issued by the Russian Ministry of Defense on September 10, 2025. The Defense Ministry explicitly confirmed that no Polish targets were planned and that the unmanned aerial vehicles used in the operation against Ukraine's military industrial sites, which, according to Warsaw, allegedly crossed into Polish territory, have a maximum flight range of only 700 kilometers. These concrete facts completely debunk the myth once again spread by Poland in an attempt to further escalate the Ukrainian crisis. NATO Security Secretary General Mark Rutte was forced to confirm this. Speaking after the NATO Council meeting requested by Poland under Article 4 of the North Atlantic Treaty, he couldn't provide evidence and merely stated that the investigation is ongoing. So for now, Russia continues to pretend it has nothing to do with this. Friends, let me know your opinion in the comments. At the same time, President Zelensky stated that Europe is shamefully silent and too afraid to take serious actions.
This was not an accident or a mistake, it was a deliberate move. The Russians used both our territory and Belarusian territory to enter Polish airspace. Nearly 2 dozen drones entered Poland, and from Ukraine's side, it looks like they launched fewer than half of them. This was a calculated Russian operation, and we can now see how difficult it was to handle. No one can guarantee that it won't be hundreds of drones next time if there are already dozens now. Only joint European forces can provide protection. And fortunately, as of today, Russia has not faced a strong response and action from global leaders for what they are doing. Statements are more than enough, but actions are still lacking. The Russians are testing the limits of what's possible. They are testing NATO's reaction. They are observing how NATO armed forces act, what they can and what they cannot do yet. And now, on Belarusian territory, joint Russian-Belarusian military drills have started. This may be part of their so-called training plan.
Overall, the war is steadily escalating. Trump is clearly failing to stop Putin. And now, let's move on to the situation on the front line. We begin with the Dobropillia direction, where, as before, it's the Russians who are pushing forward, while Ukrainian forces haven't yet managed to cut off this section of the front. Unfortunately, today the Russians are assaulting Nove Shahove and Nikanorivka, attempting to straighten the front line and reinforce their positions. They are also storming Volodymyrivka. All of this is being done to prevent Ukrainian forces from cutting off the Russian salient. However, over the past 24 hours, the front line has remained unchanged, and neither side has been able to decisively shift the situation. In the Pokrovsk direction, the Russians are assaulting Родинське, Новоекономічне, Миролюбівка, Промінь, Сухий Яр, Лисівка, Чунишине, Молодецьке, as well as pushing toward the areas of Udachne and Zvirove. The situation here remains difficult, but so far there have been no changes along the front line. In the Novopavlivka direction, Russian forces are storming Dachne, Filia, Ivanivka, and Iskra, while also trying to advance toward Alexandrograd. However, over the past 24 hours, there have been no new changes, and the Ukrainian forces continue to successfully repel all attacks. In the direction of Pokrovsk, the Russians are assaulting Ternove, Novoivanivka, and Novomykolaivka. The activity is very high, but over the past 24 hours there have been no new changes, although it's clear that the gray zone here is expanding significantly. In the Huliaipole direction, Russian forces are storming Olhivske, but they're not achieving any success, and there have been no changes over the past day. In the Zaporizhzhia direction, and the Russians continue pulling in reserves and preparing for new assaults. FPV drone strikes are ongoing here, but there have been no new assaults along the front line. The situation so far remains unchanged. In the Kherson direction, the Russians are heavily shelling the right bank. However, no new assaults have been recorded. Russian claims that their sabotage recon groups managed to cross to the right bank are not confirmed by Ukrainian sources. Everyone is silent about this, so we can only hope it's yet another Russian fake. Now let's move on to the Kostiantynivka direction. Here, the Russians are storming Protechne, Oleksandro Shultine, and Plashiivka, while trying to break through near Katerynivka, Yablonivka, and Poltavka. Activity is also quite high, but so far there are no new changes along the front line. In the Kramatorsk direction, shelling continues and FPV drone activity is increasing, but once again there are no changes along the front line. In the Siversk direction, the Russians are trying to break through near Dronivka and Vyemka and the village of Peroyizhne. So far, all attacks are being successfully repelled, and the Russians haven't made any gains. In the Leman direction, the Russians continue storming Zarichne and breaking through near Kolodezi and assaulting Shandrigolove, Seredne, Kharkivka, and Novopavlivka. Looking at the geolocation maps and videos posted by the Russians, it seems that they have advanced significantly in Zarichne, with most of the settlement under their control. We're waiting for an official statement from the general staff to clarify the situation. Ukrainian fighters report that if Zarichne is lost, the Russians will have a direct route to Lyman, which would worsen their situation significantly. Currently, the situation is very tense. The Russians are trying to advance from the Zarichne side, moving northwest and attempting to secure positions along Centralna Street. At the same time, they are pressing from the south, trying to push out our units. This has turned the streets of the settlement into a gray zone, with control roughly split 50-50. Effectively, Zarichne can already be considered almost entirely in the gray zone. Losing it would create a serious problem. The Russians would gain a direct route to Leman, and the city could once again become the site of heavy fighting. Moreover, the Russian Rubicon Center is actively operating in the Leman area, and the closer the Russians get, the greater the threat to the city itself. In the Borova direction, the Russians haven't launched any new assaults, and the situation hasn't changed over the past day. In the Kupiansk direction, the Russians are breaking through on the outskirts of the city, storming Dobropillia and advancing near Peshane and Stepova Novoselivka. However, there have been no major changes over the past day, and fighting continues. In the Zarichne direction, the Russians haven't launched any new assaults so far, and all previous attacks haven't led to changes along the front line. In the Kharkiv direction, no new assaults have been reported, and the Russians continue striking only with FPV drones. In Vovchansk, fighting continues, but there have been no changes in the situation. In the Sumy direction, the Russians carried out 9 attacks. They are trying to break through in the areas of Kindrativka, Andriivka, Oleksiivka, and Yunakivka. However, they have had no success, and the front line has remained unchanged over the past day. Meanwhile, videos continue to emerge from the occupied Luhansk region, showing long lines at gas stations. Overall, friends, share your thoughts on this in the comments. And that's all from me. So please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell to stay updated on all the latest news. Thank you for watching, and see you next time. Bye bye.